Hello students, I am Vikram Singh Rathod. Today I am discuss a machine learning topic, training and testing data. Basically it is based on the supervised data of machine learning. In this concept, training and test data, we define here some basic concepts of data. Those used in machine learning program. First of all, we know about the data, so we can define here. First of all, we want to build a machine learning model from this data that can predict the species of iris for a new set of measurements. But before we can apply our model to new measurement, we need to know whether it is actually work, that is whether we should trust its predictions. To access the model performance, we saw it new data that it has not seen before, for which we have labels. This is usually done by splitting the labeled data we have collected. Here are 150 flowers measurements into two parts. The 150 flowers is a collection of data set that is used in our program. Basically, the program is divided into two sets uh, of data. One part of the data is used to build to our machine learning model and is called the training data or training set. And the rest of data will be used to access how well the model work. It is called the data, test set, holdout set. The data in model is called from skitlearn because the iris data is stored on skitlearn library. So first of all, we load the data in our software and then after making code for it. Skitlearn contains a function that shuffles the dataset and split it for you. The train underscore test underscore split function. This function extracts 75% of the row in the data as the training set, together with the corresponding label for this data, and the remaining 25% of data together with the remaining labels in declared as the test set. Deciding how much data you want to put into the training and the test set respectively in some what arbitrary, but using a test set containing 25% of data is good rule of thumb. In skitlearn, data is usually denoted with a capital X, while label are denoted by lower y. This is inspired by the standard formulation of f x is equal to y in a mathematical form where x is the input to a function and y is the output. Following more convenience from mathematics, we use a capital X because of the data is a two-dimensional array of a matrix form and a lowercase y because the data is in one-dimensional array, so we put it into a vector form. First of all, students, you start the anaconda of your PC system. The screen is display as you seen. The anaconda is started and select the spider tool for writing the measurement of data code. After clicking on spider launch button, the spider is started and you saw on the screen that define the spider environment of Anaconda. It's basically divided into three parts. One part is source code and another part is a right hand part, uppermost part for helping about objects, classes, functions, etc. And the lowermost is used to write the code and execute the code. Then we first of all we call the train oblique test oblique split on our data as assign the output using sklearn library, that is a feature of scikit library. First we import dataset from sklearn. The name of dataset is train underscore test underscore split. Then after define the code in the area of source code of our previously display spider tool source code portion. We write the code here from sklearn.model underscore selection and then import the test data set. Basically it is a collection of data and the name is train underscore test underscore split. And then after we use various type of variables, those are defined here to make the data in a graphical representation. So we use here four type of elements: x capital X underscore train, comma capital X underscore test, comma y underscore train, y underscore test is equal to our dataset name and define a bracket and put it our dataset called iris underscore dataset and in a bracket a field use data, that is a key value or a field value of our dataset, and another is target, that is also a attribute of our dataset. Here we use random underscore state is equal to 0. Basically it randomly collect the data of 150 flowers. Those are defined in our train underscore test underscore split database or a dataset. Here you after define the code, the screen is display the leftmost part of the screen is source code is defined here. The green part of the source code is our output or explanation about the code, and the another one part those define our codes. Those are write in using Python code, and the rightmost part define the execution of our program code that is run by the spider. The output of the train underscore test underscore split function is capital X underscore train and capital X underscore test, comma, small underscore train and small y underscore test, which are all of numpy arrays variables. The x underscore train contain 75% of rows or records of the dataset, and the underscore test contain remaining 25% of our database called test under train underscore test underscore split database. The code for output we write here print and then capital X train space dot, then format function. It put as a argument such as capital X underscore train dot sap, and then print small y train space sap dot format y underscore train dot sap. After executing the code, it put 75% data from our data collection of dataset, that is train underscore test underscore split dataset. And then after the result display here in a in a matrix form or a array form, one hundred 4, 112 is the row and 4 is the column value, and the total number of flowers of 150 is here extract into a variable y underscore train save 112, that is the 75% of 150 rows of our dataset. Then after the remaining 25% of our dataset is also used to describe the number of values, then we write the code as below: print x underscore test save dot format function, and then put as argument x underscore test dot save, then print y underscore test save, then dot, and then format function, use y test dot save as a argument to call or print or display the rest of data as output. So we can see that the remaining of data is 38 and 4. Here 38 is the remaining number of flowers and 4 is the number of columns. Those are defined in the data as in array form. It is a 25% of our 150 collection of flowers dataset. It is display rest of 25% data from our dataset test under train test underscore split of dataset. Then after we also use the data in a graphical form. So we use the data for visualize in a graphical form. So we can first thing look at about our data. One of the best way to inspect data is to visualize it. One way to do this by using a scatter plot. A scatter plot is a function of Pandas library that is used to make the data in a graphical form. A scatter plot of data puts one feature along the x-axis and another along with y-axis. Those axes are used to define data to draw in a visualize form in our output. Unfortunately, the computer screen have only two dimensional, which allow us to plot only two features at a time. It is difficult to plot dataset with more than three features this way. First of all, we understood the problem how to plot the graph which look at possible pairs of features. If you have a small number of features such as the four we use have here, this is quite responsible. You should keep it in mind. However, that's a pair plot does not show the interaction of all of features at once, so some interesting aspects of data may not be relieved when visualize it in the way. In the next screen, you saw the output in a graphical representation or a visualization form. It shows our data in a graphical form. This show the data of our flower dataset in a grid form on the screen of spider, so you can visualize it and predict about the data output. In this visualization of data or a pair plot, it also describes the features in the training set. The data points are colored according to the species the iris belongs to it. To create the plot, we first convert the NumPy array into a pandas data frame. A data frame is a graphical representation form of a dataset. Panda has a function to create pair plots called scatter underscore matrix. Basically, scatter underscore matrix is use our data to represent the data in a visualization form. The diagonal of this matrix is filled with histograms of each features that is used from our dataset or a database of flowers. Students, if you like the data or understand the ML concepts, you can subscribe our channel CEG Jaipur, and I think it is most valuable video lecture for machine learning on the train and test of the data set that is used in our program. Thanks.